Year fives, and welcome to your geography lesson. I'm so excited to see you, and I'm really excited that you're going to be completing this activity today. I think it's been quite fun, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the work that is going to be sent in. So today our learning objective is going to be to invent. So at the end of this lesson, you're going to have to try and invent something, and we'll go into that in more detail. And our big question is, how do things get invented? Like, for example, the TV never existed. So how did somebody one day just decide to think up a TV or a mobile phone? Okay, there's lots of things being invented every single day. And so what does it take to have to become an inventor? Right, so let us first start with our just checking. So if you can please answer this on your piece of paper. So make sure you've got paper today because you're going to need it. So if you need to pause the video now, go get what you need. Make sure you've got your pencil, your paper, anything that you're going to feel that's going to help you to complete this activity. Make sure you've got yourself ready and you're organized, and then you can answer these questions. And then let's get going. So what is the most famous mountain in Japan called? What ocean lies to the east of Africa? Name the largest country in South America. And what is a person who designs maps called? So go for those 4 answers. Fantastic. Remember, if you need more time, you can pause the video at any time so that you can make sure that you're answering the questions. Right, so the first question was, what is the most famous mountain? We learned about it last week. It was called Mount Fuji. The ocean that lies to the east is the Indian Ocean, which is a lot warmer, and lots of people enjoy swimming in the Indian Ocean because it is a lot warmer current. The largest country in South America is Brazil, and a person who designs maps is called a cartographer. Okay, and then people who create different types of maps like globes. Okay, so we're going to be looking, as I said, as how do we get invented. But before we do that, we're going to do one activity which needs to be submitted onto Teams. So last week, we looked at the physical geography of Japan, and that is the natural features like the rivers and the mountains. And those are things that we find in that location, in that place. Today, we're going to be looking a little bit more about what we call human geography. Now, human geography is how humans have impacted the planet and the environment. So it is man-made objects, okay? So here we go. So it says human geography is a branch of geography studying how human activity is affected or influenced by the Earth's surface. So anything that is man-made, that is built by man, would be classed as human geography, and anything that is to be associated with humans would also be classed as human geography, whereas physical geography is anything that is natural, okay? It's something that we can't make or we have no effect on it. So we can explore locations' population, where population is people that live there, the culture that they have, and its economy, so the money and how things are from day to day, they do their business. So that is the difference between human and physical geography. Okay, so maybe have a think about that and make sure you sort of put that in your mind, because I'm thinking that might be a just checking question for next week. What is the difference between human and physical geography? Right, so what I would like you to do now for me is, on your piece of paper, is create this grid. It doesn't have to be neat, okay, because you're going to then type up your answers into Teams. So we're going to be looking at Japan's human geography today. We're going to be looking at their population, so how many people live in that area, the cities that they have, the religion that they follow, the language that they speak, the food they eat, the festivals that they celebrate, and the currency, which is the money that they use. So if you can draw this grid for me very roughly on a piece of paper now, make sure you leave enough space to add information into these blocks, because as I said, at the end, you're going to go onto Teams and you're going to type up all the information that you've discovered. So you can pause the video now and make sure that this table has been copied onto your piece of paper. Great, now that you've got this table, we're going to be looking at these different headings. So first of all, Japan's population. So Japan has a population of roughly 126 million people, compared with the UK, which has 65 million people. So a lot more people live in Japan. Of that population, almost 10% live in the capital city of Japan. And can you remember what that capital city is? I'll let you have a little think and we'll come back to it at the end. So in the last 150 years, there has been a huge growth in the population of Japan. And why do you think this has happened? Why do you think that people have sort of come to this area? Right? So people might have come to the cities because obviously there's jobs available for people. People are wanting to earn money. And so there's lots more happening in the cities. Okay, so could you remind us about the capital city? Can anybody remember that? And hopefully you came up with the answer of Tokyo. So well done for really thinking and remembering that answer. You'll also notice here is a map, and you can see that the more densely populated areas, so where there's lots more people, are the very dark colors, and the lighter it gets is where there's less people. So you can see those dark areas here is where most people are concentrated, most people live. So it says, over the last 150 years, the population of Japan has gone from 33 million to 126 million. And this is due to some of the following reasons. So lots of people obviously for jobs and stuff, but also the fact that there's been an advancement in medicine. So people have started to live longer. So this is not just for Japan, this is the whole world. Because we are getting more advanced in medicine, and we're able to get people that are quite poorly and not feeling very well and quite ill to become better. This then helps them to live longer, whereas in the olden days, they wouldn't live as long as this. They have healthier lifestyles, which also keep people healthy, and therefore they'll have a longer lifespan. And so the growth of industry and technology has also provided jobs for more money to be available. So as we said there, jobs is one of those factors. Right, so what you're going to do now is you're going to pause these slides and you're going to write some information, just bullet points, doesn't have to be full sentences, about what are the main facts about Japan's population, okay? So you might want to tell me how many people live there. You might want to tell me about why there has been such a large amount of people that's over the last couple of years. So thinking about the advancement in medicine, healthier lifestyles, the growth, telling me that Tokyo has them almost 10% of people live in Tokyo. So really think about giving me as much information about the population. So I'm going to let you now go through the slide and then pause the video at any point, and then you can jot down those ideas. Great, so we're going to move on now to our next one, which is going to be looking at our cities. So it says Japan cities are often famous for their soaring skyscrapers and bright lights. Skyscrapers are very tall buildings. However, they can also have a mixture of new and old. Okay, so they have lots of tradition, and then a lot of modern buildings. So here is a traditional building. Okay, and you will see these in sort of their historic temples. So it says in 2013, Tokyo won the bid to host the 2020 Olympics, which obviously didn't happen because of COVID, but we'll hopefully resume those activities in the near future. So Japan cities, Japan has one of the most extensive and efficient train systems in the world. And the trains are so punctual, which means they're on time. There is no excuse to be late for work. It also means that more people use public transport and very rarely drive. So it's home to what they call the bullet train, which is a transport engineered to go up to 200 miles per hour, which is super, super fast. Okay, think about like a bullet being fired from a gun. It goes super, super fast, and that's what they call the train. So again now, if you can please put some bullet points of ideas of what them summarize these facts onto your piece of paper now. You can pause the video and then give me some information about Japan cities. Fantastic work. Right, so we're going to look at the next one, which is religions. We're going to look all about Japan's religions. So Japan has two main religions. There's Shinto and Buddhism. Both religions exist harmoniously, which means they are at peace with one another. They're not fighting with one another. They live in harmony within the culture, and many people identify as both. Okay, so most people would say that they're both of those, or they're part of both of those. So Buddhism has been in Japan since the 6th century. It is believed to have brought across from the mainland. Ancient is an ancient religion. It is thought to be as old as Japan itself. So it dates back very long ago. And we've been learning about Buddhism. We learned about it back in, I think, autumn 1 it was. So quite a long time ago. So that's all about the religion. So pause the video now and have just bullet points the main summary of the religions of Japan. Right, the Japan's languages. So the main language is obviously Japanese, though English is taught in many of their schools, okay? Now, you do not need to go and write all of this out, but perhaps you can choose one, maybe two of these, where you can write it in Japanese, and then maybe in brackets, put the pronunciation, so how you would actually say that word, and then maybe you could then write the English. So maybe choose two of those that you would maybe want to learn, how you would write it in Japanese, how you would say it in Japanese, and then what does it actually mean in English. Now, you obviously don't have a partner, but perhaps you would like to learn these, and then when you come back to school, you can then converse with a friend of yours at school. So for your language heading, will you now put in the fact that the main language is Japanese, that English is taught at schools, and then choose two of these and copy them down for me. So pause the video and have a go. Right, Japan's food. So I'm getting quite hungry now looking at all the delicious food. So Japan food consists of a lot of fish, rice, and vegetables. And some of the dishes include sushi, which is my favorite. I love sushi, tempura, and kasaki. So there you can see, this is just a simple breakfast. Okay, you can see it looks very different to what we would think of as a breakfast. So Japan's food is common to use chopsticks to eat your food with. I wonder how many of you have tried eating with chopsticks and how successful you've been. And the tableware is also designed to be lifted towards your mouth and held whilst you eat rather than lowering your mouth to the table. Okay, so table manners are very important in Japan. You should not use your chopsticks to point or pass food around, and you should finish everything on your plate. So did you know slurping is considered a sign of enjoying your food and is encouraged? So here your parents might be saying, no, don't slurp your food. And that's that sound that you make when you go, okay? Whereas in Japan, it's actually considered a sign of enjoyment, and people try and encourage others to slurp their food, especially when you have like a piece of pasta and you go, and then it comes into your mouth. So again, if you can please pause the video and just find the main points about Japan's food and bullet point them, and then you can write them on your piece of paper. Great. Right, so they have festivals and holidays. So Obon is the Buddhist festival of lanterns, okay, and this is on August the 13th. The lanterns are lit and to guide the spirits of their ancestors. Ancestors are people who have passed away in your family, and so they light these lanterns, and you can see how beautiful the effect is created, and these are now floating on the water. Then we get Owl's Day, which is celebrated on the second Monday of January to celebrate anybody who has turned 20. So that's officially becoming an adult in their eyes, and is the previous year becoming an adult. And then New Year's is a very special day. So New Year's Day is the best started by watching the sunrise and visiting a temple during a day full of joy. Okay, so if you ever happen to be in Japan one day and this falls over New Year's, you would be seeing lots of celebrations. So pause the video now and you can write those 3 main festivals and holidays that they celebrate. And our last section that we're going to be looking at is the currency. So it's the money that Japan uses. So Japan has coins and banknotes to represent different amounts, okay? And Japan's currency is called the yen, all right? And this is the symbol for the yen. So you might want to include this in your, see if you can try and get that in your writing, or you'll just have to write the yen, which is spelled over here. And after World War II, Japan's culture of hard work and innovation has led it to grow into one of the biggest economies of the world. Okay, so they're a very thriving economy, which means they're doing very, very well, and lots of money is coming into the country. They have developed an industry of high technology electronics, that are used in many other countries, okay? So you might see that some of your items it says made in Japan. All right, so that's your activity. So now what you're going to do is, before you log onto Teams, I just want to show you now about the Inventor activity, and then you will log onto Teams and complete these activities on Teams. Everything is there for you. If you are wanting to do this activity on a piece of paper, then you can just try and take a picture and upload the picture. I know some of you have been really, really tech savvy and you've been able to find how to upload a picture of your work. So this is your last activity for today, is you're going to think about any one of these 4 things, okay? All right, the first one is an athlete keeps trying to beat his best time running, but he can't do it. He thinks it's because his trainers aren't very good. So you need to come up with and design a fancy new type of trainer. Okay, so think about, could you design a nice fancy trainer for him? So that you could do that one. Or there is a car company have run out of ideas to create the next innovative car. So could you design them a car that'll be very different from the ones that we see on the roads? And a woman can't find the time to walk her dog every day. So could you design a machine which could exercise her dog for her? And the last one is the father is fed up of doing his laundry, okay? And can you maybe design a washing and drying machine that will be able to do all of that for him? Right, so you just have to choose one of those for me and then give it a bit of a design so you can draw it out. And then you can label it and tell me what it's going to be. So this is how people invent it. They come up with an idea. So try and brainstorm as many different ideas. So let's say you want to design a new type of shoe. What kind of ideas do you want for the shoe? Okay, what will it look like? What colors will it have? Will it have laces? Will it not have laces? Maybe it's the type of shoe that has a remote control. So you just push a button and then the shoe does it all for you. It ties the laces. You can have it as a remote control to go faster or slower. Okay, so maybe that's my invention, would be a remote controlled pair of trainers. And every time I push different buttons, my trainer would suddenly miraculously switch to a new mode, and I could have like slow-mo, I could be like super fast. Have you ever seen like those cartoon characters where they look like their feet are just moving so quick that you can't even see? Maybe it could be something like that. All right, so have a think about what your design, what you want to design, and then you can sketch it out. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to color it in or anything like that, but you can just give it a little sketch, think about being that new inventor, thinking about being really creative, thinking about the problem, right? There's the problem, how am I going to fix that problem? So you need to try and solve it. And then you can then try and attach it as a picture for us to see. All right, so you're going to log on to Teams now, and you will notice that you just have to now copy out your information that you've written down. Remember, it's just bullet points, so shouldn't take you too long to type it out. You don't have to write in long full sentences, just very small bullet points, maybe 2 or 3 facts for each thing. And then underneath, spend some time thinking about how you're going to do these challenges for these people, okay, and how you're going to sort them out, okay, and what could you design? So have a go at that. I hope you enjoyed your geography lesson today. I certainly enjoyed thinking about designing some new trainers for somebody. So I hope you enjoy it and have a wonderful day. And I'll see you back here tomorrow. Bye, guys.